The conversations on Off the Record podcast are strictly social. They should not be reported on as facts or as news stories. They're simply perspectives of persons who are sharing their experiences as they remember it. These are their stories. All right, so it's BIG Flvcko and welcome back to Off the Record, where we speak to influential Vincentians both here and abroad. Today, I have a very special guest with us, artist, songwriter. I wonder what you used to call influential people before influencers became a thing, boy. But we have the baddest boy, Problem Child, with us today.
Thank you for having me here, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I like this setup. I like what we're doing here.
Come on.
Let's get it.
So, the first question I usually ask anyone, where does the name come from, Problem Child?
Lyrics, man. Just lyrics, just like problematic with the lyrics. Not in a negative form, of course. You know what I mean? All positivity. I'm also a nonsensical person. I'm very outspoken. You know, I say exactly what I mean. I'm very blunt. I'm very strict and to the point. And for some people, that could be somewhat problematic.
So they used to say you're problematic.
Yeah, so to speak. Yeah.
All right, and then the child got added on when?
Yeah, well, the problem child was always is a phrase. You know what I'm saying? You're a real problem child, you know what I mean? You can say you're a real problem, but I didn't want it to take it to be taken in a negative light, so the child kind of softened it somewhat.
All right.
Plus, the movie was out there already.
I was just about to ask about the movie. I know my introduction to Problem Child was Secret Agent. But when I was speaking to Dimes and Pixel, they mentioned that you're actually in a band before that.
A band?
Or it's a group.
Oh, they're talking about dancing. Oh, that was dancing days, man. Black bass. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't artist days. That was the days when I was dancing and things.
So before you got into singing, you were a dancer.
Yeah, man, bad dancer too. Nobody couldn't test me.
That explains the challenge, the challenge you did last year on stage. Gosh, I try to remember the name of the song now.
What challenges are what?
Drift.
Oh, Drift. Oh, that was last year? That was last year. Yeah, that was last year. It wasn't a challenge. I was just put on the spot. You know what I mean? But the MC or the selector at the time wasn't expecting that. But I just see things before they happen, and I just had a feeling it was going to happen. So I made it my business to learn the dance just in case. And so said, so done.
All right. So then what was your introduction to music?
Life, man, just being born. Life, music was always on in the house. You understand? If you're talking about professionally speaking, it's just aspiring to be a dancehall artist. That's what I really wanted to become. And then I was just given the opportunity to do what I could do on a soca rhythm, because back then, dancehall wasn't really given to anybody outside of Jamaica. Yeah. You understand? So it was very difficult to break into that market. So I just decided to do what I could do on a soca beat. But music just always been around in the house. You know, my mom always had the radio on. I heard whatever was being played. So little did I know that I was training for what would become today. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So I usually would hear the harmonies and not know what the harmonies are. You know, so melodies were just always in my head, morning, noon, and night. The radio was just always on. Okay. And my uncle, big up DJ Power, was a DJ. You know, he played whatever vinyls, Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff, Peter Tosh. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, music was just always around me, not in a professional light, you know what I'm saying? But it was there. And then Posa didn't live too far from my house, and he would come by and play guitar. So it was just always all around me.
Imagine having an influence like that. Posa just live.
Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't say he was influencing me, because at the time it was more or less like a hobby for him and fun. So he was just doing it. I just happened to be able to witness that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I guess he influenced me, but indirectly, without even being, intentional.
So you remember the first song you sang when you got into a studio and recorded it professionally?
Wow. It would probably be Reveler's Anthem. But before that, I had it very difficult, where I would do recordings on cassette tapes. Oh. Yeah. So, but it wasn't no take one, take few, take three, none of that. You would have to memorize your song from start to end and sing it with proper breath control all the way to the end of the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the most professional, but that's what I remember was my first attempt at recording anything.
So I remember that is you pop in a cassette, you hit record, you could use it to tape over radio segments. So if you singing on that, you can't mess up and waste the tape.
Exactly. We used to go to DJs and they put on, we find whatever instrumental we could find and sing our own songs, me and Bunny Rebel. Yeah.
So then, after your first song, what was the response you got?
Well, I wasn't back home for Carnival. It was sent home. It was released by Godfrey Cherry Ince. And from what I heard, you know, it was a hit at least in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay.
You know, so I was just doing it for fun because I was doing something else for my source of income. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do a next one. I'm going to do a next one. I'm going to do a next one. And it seemed that people were just liking the stuff that I was putting out. But I really had no intention of becoming a soca artist. I was just doing it because the opportunity was there. It was presented to me. And while growing up, I always wanted to record professionally. So now that I got the opportunity, I was just doing it just because I got the opportunity, not expecting much out of it. But it seemed that with each release, people would like the songs, you know, and then I did one song in particular, which is called Mad. Everybody get mad. And then I got a booking in Toronto, and I didn't understand how a booking worked. So the guy was like, yes, I'm going to fly you in, and I'm going to pay you. And in my mind, I was like, he's spending his money to fly me in, and he paying me. And giving me was a per diem, which is like money for food. So the only thing I had to do is go in the airport, and everything else is taken care of. I was like, this nice. I was like, I could get used to this, you know what I'm saying?
You know.
So big up to that promoter. I don't remember what his name is. It was me, Karen Vera, and I think Skinny, if I'm not mistaken. Young, don't know what we're doing. But I mean, he fulfilled his word, and I was paid, and that was my first introduction to an actual booking.
You know what's crazy? And absolutely no disrespect to you. I thought that was Icon, you know, because it sounds similar to his style. Everybody get mama.
Yeah, that type of energy was just what was going on at the time. That's what was going on at the time. You know what I mean? Everybody had that kind of darkish, kind of grungy kind of energy. Yeah. I think that it was either the year after that or that same year Icon had a hit as well. Yeah. So I could understand why you would be mistaken there.
So what came after that, and what year was that actually?
Ooh, I ain't good like some people could pop off and tell you, yo, this was this year and that was that year. I don't just do so much. I know it's in the past.
I could imagine.
It was quite some time ago.
I could imagine.
I don't remember what really came after that. It's songs like Virginia. And I mean, I couldn't tell you year by year because at some point I started doing multiple songs. So, you know, one would take off more than the other and so on. Songs like Delinquents and, you know what I mean, coming up over the years and so on and so forth.
So, but where did Secret Agent fall between these songs?
In terms of...
Mad and Delinquent.
Secret Agent might have fell... I think that would have came probably after Mad and before Delinquent.
Okay.
At some point.
Because I remember that style, the way that song was made, was really different from everything else at the time.
Because it was more of a dancehall kind of concept, which is me again. That's the only thing I really knew how to do. You know what I'm saying? I never really knew much about, you know, coining soca phrases and the delivery. Everything just sounded so dancehallish, and then the producer would just do whatever he did, and I did whatever I could. But because I think one of my stronger points would always be concepts. So the concept that I used for that song is what kind of put it over the top. And I was very lyrical at the time because, you know, my songs were very lyrical based. And, you know, I said a couple of clever things in the song, so to speak. And I think it resonated with the people and they liked it. Okay. Yeah, so there's Secret Agent and there's, oh my God, there's another song that was kind of like in the same vein as Secret Agent too. I can't remember the name.
But I know it would be difficult for you specifically with the amount of music that you put out, whether you record or pen. So
actually, I am talking about Secret Agent, but the song that I was talking about is Friends with Benefits.
Yeah.
That
was the same year?
No, it was like I think they were a year apart.
That song was different as well. And
Yeah.
you're right. Now I think about it. They have a dance
I think Friends with Benefits was
Yeah.
before Secret Agent. It was Friends with Benefits and then Secret Agent.
No relationship,
Just friends with benefits. She give me what I need when I need it.
Yeah,
And I give
yeah.
her what she needs when she needs it. Yeah.
Listen, from then till now, it's a huge problem, child fan, you know.
Big
I
up.
hearing all those songs and those songs different from everything that I'm hearing because everybody going down, as you say, the same route as Mad. And if they're not going down that route, there's the same ragga route. No offense to any of the artists. But so when I heard Friends with Benefits, Secret Agent, Delinquents, and they sounded different. Like it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that came from listening to a lot of hip hop. So at the time, I was heavily into hip hop even more than dancehall, right? But because my accent was so Caribbean-esque, if that's a word, it would have been even harder to break into that. But one thing about hip hop in those days is that originality was of utmost importance. You know what I'm saying? If you would have came up with a song and you sounded a fraction like anybody else, you would have heard about it.
Yeah.
So that taught me from early, be original.
Yeah.
Be different. Even your flow, you would have to coin your own flow. You couldn't really repeat something and sound too similar to anybody else. Or you would be, no matter how good you were at it, you would never get you would never get your props.
Immediately people be like, nah, he biting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they used to
can't
call
push
it.
that.
Exactly.
Push
You
that.
biting,
Yeah.
right. So that's where that came from for me, is having a strong sense of originality. Like, bro, whatever you do, don't sound like nobody else.
And it worked. It most definitely,
definitely
worked.
works.
But what was it like in the early years of your career as an artist? Do you feel like you got the respect you deserved at the time, even though your songs were blowing up and you were consistent?
I honestly wasn't really paying attention to that, I mean, maybe later on, once I started taking it seriously, I felt like, I could have been, looked on differently or looked upon differently or given a lot more accolades or whatever the case may be. But in the earlier years, it was just fun and games for me, man. I just enjoyed recording and seeing people's responses to my song. And if somebody tell me, yo, that song you did wicked, that was good enough for me. So that part where I felt like I deserve a little bit more accolades came probably like later on when I started taking it more seriously. But because I was so different, I think what it was is that people didn't really grasp or understand my approach to it.
Okay.
They were just accustomed to what they were accustomed to.
But you remember the song that changed your perspective completely, that made you say, yes, I'm doing this, I'm taking it seriously. The job that I had, I put in that away. I am full-time artist.
Okay, yes and no. Because when I started taking it seriously, I didn't put the job away.
Okay.
Right? Because I was still scared, man. I had reservations. I was like, bro.
Could you imagine?
You know what I mean? Like, if I ain't getting no bookings here, what you gonna do? But you know what I mean? The little hustle was bringing in a small food at the same time. But the song that made me see and think that I could really do this and had me pondering, like, I wonder if one of these days I'll be able to do music full time, was Party Animal. Because that's the first song that did, in the world of soca, went global.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's the one that had me having to take time off from the so-called job at the time to go and do music. So I'm like, this thing actually competing with you know what I'm saying, the musical perspective of my life.
You remember the thought process behind the song?
Man, Party Animal? Party Animal is a joke, bro. Party Animal is a demo. To this day, it's not an actual proper recording. That song was supposed to be for the producer of the song to sing. Friction, big up Friction.
Big up Friction.
So he sent this song, and I already had a song I put out that year. And who even remembers what that is? I don't know. And we sent it to be not mixed. We sent it to be balanced properly, so when he gets it, he would hear what it's actually supposed to sound like. But I remember catching a flight to come home, sending it to be balanced, catching a flight to come home, and when I came home, I'm walking up back street, and I heard somebody say, "Ooh, ooh." So in my mind, they did the song and put out the song that fast. That was crazy, because it was like I flew the very next day after sending it off.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's my brother Howie. I could never forget it. Howie was like, boy, that tune a bad thing. I'm like, what is he talking about? Up to now, I don't even know the song on radio, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then when I started hearing the song, I was like, wait, the man released this song with my voice? But it's not even my song. But I don't know the process of them speaking to Friction and telling him, yo, I feel probably should sing this because it's singing good, it's ready to go, carnival late, whatever. Let me just put it out like that. So no one asked me anything.
So you find out with everybody else.
We didn't get a chance to clear the sample, nothing, because
So you ever re-recorded it or you just left it like that?
we have a re-recording. We have a re-recording minus the sample, and I actually submitted it to be released, and then the distribution company said, "Listen, it sounds great, but it's not gonna be the same without the sample in it because that's what people are accustomed to. Let's try to clear the sample."
Okay.
I've just been too busy, honestly, to follow up trying to clear the sample so we could put it back in the song.
Okay.
So it almost came out authentically to be placed on platforms without the sample, but we were advised to try to clear the sample and put it back in. We just didn't get around to doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know if we sit down here and we break down all the songs over the years, we will be here all night.
Till next year.
So we definitely can't do that. But what I would do is get into performance and competitions. So you remember what was your first competition song?
We going down the road. Nobody could tell me to stay home.
Okay.
Over and over and over. It's back. It's back and all for life.
That would fall into Raga, right?
No.
That was Power?
Yeah.
BPM, okay.
Yeah. For life.
For life.
Yeah.
For life.
Yeah.
So, and then you started competition from there, and how did it feel entering?
It was just the thing to do if you were a popular artist and you had
Very
big
true.
songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't really much thought given behind it. You know what I mean? Big up to the competition, which is Soca Monarch. But it wasn't much thought behind it. Like, should I really be doing this? Or what does it take to win this? It was just more or less like, if you have a big song, that is just what you did.
Yeah.
There was no other option.
That's
Although
true.
there actually was other options. There were other options. You didn't have to. But it was just kind of like the thing to do. So I just did it.
Yeah. And I remember you did it for a few years and then you decided, all right, that is it for me and Soca Monarch. What happened there?
I understood a lot more than I did when I started. Understand how it worked. And when you understand how things work, sometimes, you know what I mean, you might be able to drive a car, but you might attempt to fly a plane. And you might fly the plane somewhat decent, but sometimes flying the plane is just not for you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I remember, because in the early days when you were on Twitter, you would voice a lot of displeasure with things that were happening at the time. And I remember there was an interaction specifically. There was a lawyer, he's a lawyer now in St. Lucia, Peter Marshall. I remember Peter Marshall had made a tweet and he said something along the lines of, but you're not a strong performer. And you had responded and you said, it's not that simple as just performance. And I've always been curious about that.
I mean, it's just certain things that you learn, and that was his opinion because I just spoke to somebody about the performing in those days. What I didn't understand what you have to switch how you perform as per each market, because that was to me, that was a narrative that was placed. There was a seed that was planted for maliciousness. You understand? So if anything anybody could say and paint a narrative about you and people start believing, it's going to seem like it's true.
Yeah, I remember a lot of persons that was after
yeah, but I used to leave St. Vincent and go elsewhere and do the same exact thing, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's amazing." So what I couldn't figure out is, okay, if these people think I'm so amazing, why am I not amazing in my own place in this space? But I'll tell you this: what color is this here?
Blue.
If 500 people start telling you that it's green, you're gonna start doubting yourself.
Yeah, naturally you're going to start to wonder.
You understand what I'm saying? So once that narrative is painted that this is green, everybody gonna start believing it's green too, including yourself.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? It's just little things that you I wouldn't even say on camera, but it's just basic common sense that like it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me, and it had nothing to do with, you know what I mean, performances or presentation. Is like what I would do or what I would have done as an organizer of the competition is put caps, because if presentation is 30 points, this is just what I would do, right? And you could spend $2 million and I could only spend $100.
You know, I said that this year, you know. I said that this year.
There's no way I could beat you, bro, in that regard.
I said that this year.
You understand what I'm saying?
I said that this year.
There's no way I could beat you in that.
I said that this year.
I can't do it. And respectfully speaking, there were times gone by where I think that I naturally had placed higher than I was announced. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of discouraging. I'm going to keep it real.
A lot of politics.
Yeah, well, you say it. I ain't saying it. I said there are years gone by when I figured that I had placed higher than was announced. And I was like, so, I mean, it's not really a thing of displeasure. It's like, if that's my best and I'm still 4th or 5th, and that's my absolute best with my budget, my performance, my delivery, my everything, and I'm... What's the point? Yeah. Maybe you should explore another avenue.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
So I just made the best decision for me. It wasn't like bitterness or like, crying and moping. It was just like, you know what? Reassess the situation. Let's make sense. If you're going up the road and every time you go up the road, you lost $500, sooner or later you had to start saying to yourself, should I be going up the road here, boy? And if one year you say, you know what? When I reach the gap here, I got to turn off. And instead of losing $500, you find $200. Would you keep going up the road that you're losing $500? It doesn't mean anything because somebody else might be going up the same road that you losing $500 and finding $1,000. Yeah. So all they going up there.
Different strokes, different folks. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I will go across here while keeping my 5 and finding 2. It's less than what you finding, but it works for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
But then fast forward to this year, and I'm struggling to remember if you did it before. There were guest performances that you ended up doing. What made you just say, you know what, I'll do it for the culture?
At the Soca Monarch?
Yeah.
This probably is my 3rd year or 4th year. I can't remember. Because it was never any kind of malice towards the competition. I just understood how it worked and realized that it doesn't work in my favor competing. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to be there performing for my people. It was no form of bitterness at all. It's just, you got to understand, you know what I'm saying? You're making sensible decisions, business decisions, decisions that are better for your brand. You know what I mean? And it just boiled down to that.
All right.
Yeah, man.
And then we have to now talk about your pen. When did you begin writing for other people?
I've had it very difficult. And I was forced to write for other people. Because when rhythms became a big thing in soca, multiple people on a rhythm, and that was the only way to go. Nobody was really doing singles, and because I wasn't a big enough name, if I did do a single, nobody would really pay it any mind. So, Brethren, put me on your rhythm now. Nah. Brethren, put me on your rhythm, please now. Nah. And it was a bunch of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I have friends who could produce. I have friends who could mix and master. And I sure I could write. So I attempted to do a project of my own and put myself on it as an artist.
Okay.
You know? So I always said nothing bad happens to me, man. That was just a lesson. That just happened to show me that, hey, you could do your own projects. Yeah. Because if they did indeed put me on their projects, I probably would never attempt a project of my own.
Yeah.
So that was a blessing in disguise, you know? You know, I attempted to do my first project with my brethren Friction, and it worked. You know what I mean? That project is the Spanish Fly rhythm.
I remember Spanish Fly.
Yeah, Patrice Roberts, a Little Wine. Right? Myself with Life for the Party, and Daniel Vera and Ricardo Drew, rest in peace. And we put that project out. You know, I wrote all 4 songs on the rhythm, and Patrice's song blew up, and my song had a little vibe, got me some attention, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
Okay.
We built from there, you know, to where we are now.
But then how did you get the introduction to Patrice? Because since then, you guys have done a number of collaborations.
God, man. God put me in the right place at the right time. I'm naturally a shy person. I don't like to... Yeah, man. Performing is work. And I love it. So, you have to do what you have to do. But to like say, walk up to some people actually misunderstand that for me being like standoffish or whatever, you know, but I just afraid people. You know what I'm saying? I'm naturally a shy person. So, but anyway, it was in Trinidad. I was at this television station called Synergy. And we both were being interviewed, and she was sitting across from me on her phone, And in my head, I started thinking already about doing these projects on my own. And I was like, wow, that's Patrice. If I could get Patrice on a rhythm, that'd be great. So, bro, I was scared out of my life, but I went over to her. I was like, hi, Patrice, my name is Problem, blah, blah, blah. If I wrote you a song, would you sing it? And she got off her phone. She was like, sure, if I like it, I'll do it.
Okay.
And in my mind, I was like, yeah, right. She just telling me that. She blowing me off. But we exchanged, I think, was it BBM them days, boy? Blackberry?
Sure. What have been?
Something.
BBM.
We exchanged some form of contact with each other. And I couldn't believe she actually gave it to me. But then I went back to New York and I wrote the song. And she said she liked it. And she said, I'm going to record it. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, all right. And then she called me the night or sent me a message and said, I go in studio now to record it. And all then I'm still like, yeah, all right. I expected to hear, I went studio and current gone, or I had to do another song and I couldn't do yours.
I know them ways.
But about 2.5 hours or thereabout after, she sent me the recording, the demo. Bro, I couldn't believe it. And what was crazy to me and what was most amazing was what she did with what I sent her. She made it her own. And when I heard her vocals, what stood out to me was, bro, I can't sing like her, but when I was doing the demo, this is how I heard it in my head. And she delivered it exactly how I wanted it to sound. I was like, what? She did it just like this is how it's supposed to sound. And then I messaged Friction. I started jumping up on the bed. That was like 2 in the morning. I ain't gonna lie, because that was the time she was finished. I messaged Friction and he got excited too. And I started listening to this thing over and over and over. Couldn't believe that Patrice actually recorded something that I wrote. And when I checked the time, it was like 7:15. So I stayed up from like 2:30 or thereabout, listening to this thing until 7 o'clock in the morning, bro. So that's how I started writing for Patrice, and that's how I started writing on a whole.
That's crazy. I could imagine what that felt like for the first time, and then after that,
I would
recommendations.
never forget that, man. And then we just started working together, and we just put out a bunch of other hits after that.
Listen, you guys have a song, All the Way. That's also up there for me, and I don't think it's a song that's ever been in heavy rotation here, but it was on Problem Is a Problem, the album you did with the House.
Yeah, that's a house.
Yeah.
That's the Humble Beginnings.
Yeah. That
we have a bunch of songs together that didn't really do what I think should have happened, didn't happen. But you know what I'm saying? That's the nature of music. You know, not everything is gonna resonate. Sometimes it's marketing, sometimes it doesn't fall on the right ears.
Yeah. But that song, I think that song was beautifully done.
Thank you.
I think it was you walk into a cooler party, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And then, what a finding
as a wandering stranger, I end up in a cooler party.
Yeah, I love.
You know what you're talking about.
Love that song, and I never heard it in heavy rotation. I was like,
yeah.
That song really could have done more than it did. But you know, as you said that you're shy, it's crazy because I know a lot of people, once you see someone of influence, they automatically believe this person stuck up, this person would not be pleasant to deal with, this person would not smile at me, look in my direction. None of that. And that was not my experience. I remember I hit you up in DM in 2021. I was in Taiwan. I was doing events trying to promote the culture in Taiwan. I said, Problem, I'm trying to do a flag party.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was you.
I tried to do that's crazy.
I remember that.
I'm trying to do a flag party and promote it over.
I remember that vividly, but I did not know it was you. But I
just got the opportunity to get a actual Taiwanese club where they do EDM and stuff to do a Caribbean party. The people believed in what I was going to do. And I have a friend of mine, DJ Christian. Christian reached out to a few other DJs, gave me a drop, and you say, hey, I go into a lime, when I clean up and I look decent, I'll give you the drop. And he say, what you felt about the Patrice? And I was like, yeah, right. Yeah. You're not going to give me this drop. And then a few days pass, and then you hit me up and say, hey, I clean up now, I looking decent, I go and do it. And I still saying,
same.
Nah, I ain't going to do that, man. I ain't nobody right now. He ain't know me. Boom, the video came. I remember I was at home and my girlfriend next to me, I was like, yo, Problem, do the video. I put out the video and I'm like, other people in Taiwan, Caribbean people, they're like, yeah. This thing official, man.
No,
This
it's
thing
all love,
official.
man. That was nothing, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just that sometimes, you know, with stuff like that, I'd like to present myself properly to the public. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But that was nothing. That is nothing. But you know, I mean, people are gonna always feel what they feel based on what they hear, and a lot of people are assuming. But the word "assume" starts with ASS for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? I always tell the people, get the facts. You know what I mean? Don't judge people from what you see on the surface. And, you know what I mean? Do your own research, because people are going to always say what they say. And it's like self-reflection, because if they were in that situation, that's what they would do or how they would act. So they're assuming that's what you would do. But I'm not you, brother. Like, you don't know me. I always tell people, when you hear bad things about me, I guarantee you that person has never been around me, has never been in my space, has never exchanged words with me.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And some people just have their reasons. Like the other night, I was at an event and I had to use the restroom. You know what I mean? To drain the lizard. Right? It was so urgent, and while going to the restroom, somebody yanked me, pulled me, almost pulled off my arm. So I was like, and they just started staring at me. So I was like, I felt bad, like, damn, I don't remember this person. Then the person says, you don't know me, but I know you. So then I didn't feel bad anymore, because, you just clarified that I don't know you. And they wouldn't say anything. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to use the bathroom. And the person said to me, oh, it's like that? Bro, to this day, I'm still trying to understand what did that really happen? The person said, it's like that. I was like, yeah, I really gotta go. Like, I can't go on myself. And they went, so they probably left with a bad impression of me. But in my mind, I'm like, you didn't even say what you wanted. You didn't ask for a picture, nothing. You just and I had to use the bathroom, bro. But so it's little things like that might give you a bad name, but innocently, like, can I please use the bathroom? That's all I just wanted.
It's very funny that you say that, right? Because I was speaking to OG Park, and OG Park said, a guy walk up to him, grab him on his hand, like, yo, don't do that to me. And the guy got pissed immediately, and he was like, boy, people can't do people things like that. And you would not meet problem and do problem that. And that was yesterday. That was the cameraman there. That was yesterday.
Oh yes,
that was yesterday he said that.
Oh yes, they will. I mean, it's love. You have to understand, a lot of people just really love you to that degree. And in our culture, I don't know where it came from. And it's okay. It's okay for the most part. A lot of people feel like you belong to them. You know what I'm saying? You belong to them. And that's just what the culture is, man. I'm cool with it as long as people are respectful. But some people cross the line, and then that one little incident where you can't allow people to disrespect you or do something crazy, they look at you now like you're crazy or you did something wrong. Like I would be having a conversation. It could be something serious or important, and the person does boy problem, and then like, well, I mean, I would speak to you, but you still can't just stop from speaking to somebody on the spot. As if I'm just standing there not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be eating. People, it goes on and on.
I know. Trust me, I know.
I mean, but at the end of the day, what I try to say is, it's coming from a good place. If they didn't care about you, because if Vincy people don't care about you, they're not interfering.
They're not going to care. Yeah, they're not going to bother to say anything.
They see you, but they don't see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a love still. Or they could continue. I love it.
But you remember a bad experience that stuck with you?
In terms of with a fan?
Yeah.
Not really.
That's good.
Not really, man. I mean, people for the most. I mean, that's my approach to life in general. I mean, anybody's gonna say what they want to say. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So I have never had like a horrible experience, like in person, where somebody did something that bad that scarred me. Never happened. You know, even outside of music, I'm sure people say stuff about you, bad things. People that's just life. People say stuff about people. So I don't take anything to heart. But I don't have anything that anybody ever did to me to make me feel like, you know, upset. You know what I mean?
I remember I had a morning show on WFM. And I remember one morning I said, and I never voted a day in my life. And the line started going crazy. And somebody called and say, why don't I end yourself off the radio? I literally just tell you, I never voted a day in my life. And that's the opinion that you form. That's just how it goes sometimes.
People will people, man.
Yeah.
People will people. You just gotta have thick skin and just roll with the punches, man.
That is true.
Yeah, man.
So-
But I love everybody still because I mean, not everybody has the same level of reasoning, and it's so many different things that come into play.
Very true.
When it comes to these type of things. You just gotta love everybody and understand that a lot of people, if they could do better then they would.
They
Some
would,
people
yeah.
can't help it. You know what I'm saying? You
Definitely.
just gotta love everybody and just try to take the approach that you know
Yeah.
they mean well.
But I'm curious. So was the introduction to Patrice Roberts her writing the song? Was that your gateway
writing
into?
the song.
Sorry, or performing the
The
song? Was that your introduction to regional soca?
I would say that. I would say that because I mean she definitely helped me to blow up as an artist and a songwriter, and to this day, you know what I'm saying, we still have a great relationship, a great friendship. You know what I mean? That's not even like a friend no more. That's like my sister.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So she definitely helped, and people, you know, she didn't shy away from telling people that Problem Child wrote the song. It definitely opened up doors for other songs for me to write for other artists like, you know, Splinters, Shal Marshall, a bunch more
You
songs.
know, a
from
lot of
Patrice.
people don't know that you wrote Splinters.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
good.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean, everyone
yeah.
doesn't have to know. I mean, not
Yeah.
people don't do a lot of research in our genre anyway. So
Yeah,
I
that's
good.
very true.
Yeah.
That is very
Even
true.
now, like a lot of the songs I wrote for Vincy Masters, yeah, I enjoy it, though, but because I don't have ego and I don't need like a lot of praise. Like you would see people telling the artists, yo, that song you put out there, bad thing. You know what I'm saying? But they would not know that it was written by me, and that's fine.
But
You know, the fact of the matter is, they still like the song.
you mentioned earlier, right, that you had written Spanish Fly 4 songs on the rhythm. When did you start writing more than that and doing entire rhythms for persons to perform songs that you wrote?
Well, from then onward, like it was. Remember, we have to revisit the fact that I said that I wasn't really given much of an opportunity. So after I did one and it worked, you know, I still wasn't given the opportunity. So I did more, and I did more, and I did more, and I did more, and I just kept doing more. And it's something that I love. So it's not work for me. Everybody has a habit. You might like playing ball. You might like playing pool. You might gambling. You know what I mean? Some fellas like to chase woman. Whatever you like, you like. I like to create music. I'm always doing it. When I get up in the morning at 3 a.m. and I go to the gym, when I come back, it's the first opportunity I get. If I have beats, I start recording every single day. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm traveling and I have to perform. And even while I'm traveling, my headphones are on. I'm listening to beats. I very rarely listen to other genres of music. I don't even listen to soca. I don't know people's songs like that. Because it's always me listening to a beat trying to come up with the next song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember last year was the first time I was trying to count. And I counted over 20 songs that was either written by you or performed by you. Is that the first year you did that many?
I don't know, because I don't keep count. I just keep going. I don't know. This year, we have a compilation album out that's called the Power Pack. And there are 29 songs on it, and we did the math, and it's only 6 of those songs I didn't write. You know, and that's just power soca, and that doesn't have anything to do with the raga.
Yeah.
You know,
What?
so it's just what I do, man, and I love it. So it's not a task for me. Like I said, it's just like, everybody have their habit. I'm just lucky and blessed that my habit is what I do for a living.
Yeah. A lot of people don't have that as well.
Yeah.
But we are off the record, and I have to ask you. Because in the beginning of your career, well, I would say midway, beginning, you had a rivalry. You guys are cool now, but there was a rivalry. What happened there
Which rivalry?
with Skinny Fabulous?
We did?
You didn't have a rivalry?
No, I just only compete with myself, bro. I never had a rivalry with anybody.
okay.
A rivalry was created. People just like
Oh.
to create a rivalry and start doing comparisons and so on and so forth.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't pay attention to what anybody else is doing. I
Okay.
always tell people I only try to ever be a better me tomorrow than I am today, and a better one today than I was yesterday. Whether it's in music, whether it's in how I speak to people, whether it's in how I treat people, whether it's how much help I help. If I could help more tomorrow than I help today, I'm winning. You know what I'm saying? So
Really?
obviously, all right, I'll give you an example. In dancehall right now, everyone wants Cartel and Alkaline to rival each other.
Yeah.
They do seemingly throw shade or whatever the case may be. But what if those two guys don't even care about each other, don't even care about each other's existence? They're just that good, and people like that type of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Because you've never heard either one of us say that there's actually or was an right. Well, I've never heard him say.
Yeah, good point.
You
I've never heard that.
You never heard
I've
nobody
never heard
like,
that. You're right.
You never heard me say, yo, that you, the thing, whatever. People created that just because. Why? Because of the obvious comparisons of how good we were.
Because I remember when you did Night of Me, a lot of people were like, that's
everybody thought that song was for the man, bro. But they never hear me. That's crazy. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. They never. His name is not in the song.
Facts.
They never heard me say it was for him.
Facts.
I didn't even say anything. Sounds like, like how I could be like, Slim Rasta boy. There's
Facts.
nothing in this song.
Facts.
You understand? That song came from the fact of like, all right, during those days I was listening to like a lot of Capleton and Sizzler and that type of stuff, and it was burning out a lot of negative elements. But soca, you have to learn how to bring your concepts across in soca, because we're not ready for certain subject matters in soca. You understand? So I was just like, okay, they were burning out false images and this and that and that was just my interpretation of one of those type of songs.
Okay.
You understand? If you listen to the song, it actually has a message. Never do run to I never do, but people just ignore the I never do run thing for make money. And the crowd is supposed to be supportive of that line and say, neither me. So I'm saying, I ain't never done it. And they're supposed to be proud enough to say, you know what? Me neither.
Makes perfect sense.
End the story.
It makes perfect sense. But then, there's that, right?
But we could go back to what I'm going to tell you. People will say things about people and create narratives about people. So you could say something that have nothing to do with anything, and because people have created certain innuendos and subject matters and whatever about people, they run with a certain hype.
But then in the beginning, right, it was said that Hot 97 was the biggest radio station, and then Hot 97 would not promote certain music. Did you ever feel like that had happened to you?
Honestly, I don't listen to radio. I've heard that.
Okay.
But me personally, I haven't really sat and sit down and say, okay, let me hear how much times they play my song in comparison to how many times they play other people's song. I mean, if that was the case and people saw that, then they would have to speak on that. But I personally have never really sat and counted. Every artist does always want more airplay.
True.
Every artist does always want more airplay.
True.
Sometimes a song might not be as big as you would like it to be or you think it is, and another song is just bigger. You know what I'm saying? And you might be in your feelings like, I need my song to be played more, but maybe people like that song more. What I do know is that a lot of my songs, it takes a little while to resonate with people, but once it connects, it lasts a lot longer. Because I've paid attention to how music have grown and changed over the years in St. Vincent. And I always, when I come home, I hear a lot of my older stuff being played in comparison to a lot of the other songs that were as good or as popular at the time. But that's because I write from a different perspective.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't write for now. I write for life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes when you write for life, because you're not in the immediate hype, it takes a little bit longer to catch. So people might hear a song and be like, and they're going crazy. But in a year and a half, because it was built for a moment, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't get the same love, and it might have been getting all the love in that moment. So it might have seemed like at that particular time, what you said is what people saw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it could just be like, yo, that's music. Some people could take that approach. I could write a song knowing mash up the place right now. But I rather longevity.
But I'm also curious, right? What made you transition over to the bouillon?
I love music, bro. I doing anything that I hear that song good that I like. I didn't transition. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you send a beat for me and it's a bouillon beat, and I like it. If you send a zouk beat for me and I like it. If you send a beat and it have rock and roll in it and I doing whatever I get.
Okay.
So I didn't sit down and be like, I will not start to do bouillon now or whatever the case may be. No, it's just what's presented, and music goes in a circle, man. Like in the next 6-7 years, it might not be bouillon. It might be zouk again.
Yeah.
It might be the Vincy, grungy, dark energy, like when we were singing, mash up and tear and you know what I'm saying? It goes in a circle, it evolves, man. So I just try to do what makes people happy.
All right.
If you're doing music for yourself, it's better you stay home and sing it,
That's true. That's
Yeah,
very true.
yeah, man.
How did you get into events?
In terms of promotion,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Really?
I'm not. I'm just sometimes asked to be a part, and I mean it's a risk, and I take calculated risks. But to say it's what I partake in full time or it's a stronghold, nah, I don't really like promotion.
So then, how did Crush come about?
Because it was this Skinny's idea, and he felt it would have been a good idea for us to collaborate on an event, and it makes sense. Once it makes sense, I'm all for it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And we dare to try to do as best as we could with each event that I'm a part of. I do, but to say like I'll be sitting home trying to think of a next concept for a next event to happen. Nah, bro, music is my thing. Yeah.
So then when you saw Crush happen and then the collaboration this year, that was just you saying, whatever are they doing, I support it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't sit at home and try to figure out, what we could do next, boy. What's event? That thing is a headache, dog.
I know.
Props to all promoters. Oh my God, man. Sometimes you spend so much and then nothing happens, nothing comes out of it. If it's an outdoor event, it rain. Man, I good. That's not my thing. I will play a part and support, but like to make it my main thing, not so easy.
All right. When you started rubbing shoulders with other people, artists, influential people outside of soca, because I see you and Safari. You guys have a good relationship. How did that happen?
Well, we have a relationship,
Why
relationship is with my significant other.
Why for that? What's wrong with me?
Mutual friends.
Okay.
He's from Brooklyn originally, Flatbush. You know what I'm saying? And I originally, when I went to migrate to the States, is a Crown Heights man, and they're just like this much apart from each other. And like a lot of his schoolmates before he moved and became this big celebrity, ended up being like my friends. And they were always like, yo, you should do a song with Safari. And then they would tell him the same thing. And we were at an event together and they introduced us and we talked. And I'm saying he's a clown. He likes to joke around a lot, and I like to laugh and I like to do the same and poke fun at people and so on. And we just hit it off, and I'm saying, and that's the bro,
All right.
Yeah.
Talking about, nearly tripped me out, nearly say it again. Talking about friends.
Yeah.
How did you and Friction form that friendship?
I think it was as simple as a message from Friction just saying, yo, I'm a young producer. He introduced himself, and that was that.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Simple message.
Simple,
years and years of music.
So much for me being unapproachable, huh? Yeah. He was working out of a studio. Big up Groovy, the rest in peace. Yeah, and he was like, I have some beats. I was like, yeah, and I pulled up, and I was like, yo, this man talented, man. Yeah, let's go.
Speaking about that, younger artists like Added Rankin and more, what impressed upon you to do music with these artists and not as big as yet?
I mean, reflecting on when I needed help and nobody wouldn't help me. I know what it feels like, and it's not a nice feeling.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, man, I'm going to always get what God has for me. So I'm not afraid to help anybody, because me helping anybody and them achieving whatever they achieve, that was always theirs. I'm never going to get yours. I'm always going to get mine. Yeah. So I'm not afraid to help anybody at all. It's as simple as that. I mean, and if anybody asks for help and I see that they're serious and they're willing to listen, because people just ask for help and they want it, They just want you to say what they think they want to hear. You understand what I'm saying? But if I see you're willing to take the critique and you know what I'm saying, I think I might have some experience over you, and you're willing to listen, and it's as simple as that, man. Anybody could approach me and ask me anything.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So artists listening, if you know you could take the assistance.
But you can't be
Very
afraid.
approachable.
You can't be afraid to learn, and you can't
Yeah.
ask me something already hoping that my answer is gonna be what you want to hear. That does be the trick right there.
Yo, that's a deep thing you just said.
I telling you, I just see it every
Yeah.
day. They asking, what do you think about this song here? And they already formulate what you should tell them. And if they don't hear that, they not with it.
Upset
Mind you,
with
they
you.
just ask you what you thought. Yeah, man. So that's why that is a very, very, very important prerequisite for working with me. Like you have to be willing to take the critique and make the adjustment.
All right.
Otherwise, you're wasting my time.
So we usually have a segment where we discuss love and dating. And your finger, they blinded me. What made you make that decision?
The right one.
So how you go about finding the right one?
You don't find them.
They
You just find each
you.
other.
Ah.
You don't find you neither. You just find each other.
We have the record. Tell me the story.
Yeah, no, I ain't telling you that story. There. Just know that you had to have standards, and you shouldn't settle. You know what I mean, whether male or female. You understand what I'm saying? You shouldn't settle. You should never settle. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't have to happen when you want it to happen, and it might be the person you least expect.
That's
you understand
true.
what I'm saying? If you have prerequisites, if you want a 6'10" wife, she's out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? you ban.
Yeah, you encourage his nonsense.
No,
sometimes,
it's
man.
whatever you want, but you have to also compromise because you have to remember you ain't perfect neither.
Because you would see it on social media, you hear it.
But social-
I want a man that is da 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 da.
Brethren, social media, fake as fake could be, bro.
Oi.
Bro, I've learned so much from rubbing shoulders with the big wigs. Man be rehearsing accidents.
Yeah.
People be rehearsing accidents now, I think, looking real this time. 10 takes on what's supposed to be something that's coincidental.
Yeah.
But it's
yeah,
rehearsed.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, compromise is the key, man. Compromise is the key. I mean, it could work with you might not get 10 out of 10 prerequisites. You understand what I'm saying? But if you get 8.5,
I know it's 8 and
bro, if you get 8.5, and the other 1.5 is not so bad, bro, you might only come with 6. So who are you to complain about 8.5?
Thank you.
You understand what I'm
Thank
saying?
you very
You
much.
had to fix that part about you and thing, and you know what I mean? If you're told, again, learning in any aspect, not just music, if you're told, for instance, let me make something up. You know, when you come home, you just slam the door and that just give me a headache. You can't just say, but that's how I just close door. You can't just write that off and say, well, that's how I just close door. Because guess what? You might not get it right away, but it don't take anything to try to close the door a little bit softer.
Listen, man and woman, listen to that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even if he ain't catch it and he will slip up, I just get told about don't chew and send me no voice note. Up to now I can't. Because sometimes it's so important and the only chance I get to eat is not deliberate. But I have to be like, oh gosh, I'm sorry. You understand? And up to now I ain't catch it, but I'm cognizant of it. So if I remember, I wouldn't do it. So instead of doing it 10 times, I might do it 7.
Got you.
It's not good still, but it's not as bad as if I say, me and kid, that's how I just chew and talk. That's your business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And hopefully I could cut it down to like maybe 4, 3, or 2. So it's all about compromise, man.
So, as we wrap up now, right? There are a lot of people that look up to you. Artists, just Vincent trying to make it in whatever field. What would you say to them as we wrap up here?
I mean, it's so cliche. It does be hard to teach people or advise people in this regard because it does sound like stupidness. And it's so simple. It's don't give up. Now, how many times have you heard that? It's like, now you're going to say don't give up. But that is the honest truth. It's only 2 things. Is don't give up and be willing to learn. And if you don't give up and you're willing to learn, think about this, right? You're learning something and you ain't catch it today. If you give up today, you're not going to know as much as you will know tomorrow.
That's very true.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you don't give up, by tomorrow you know more than you know today.
That
So
is
you're
very,
getting
very
better.
Yeah.
You're making progress.
Yeah.
Some people want it now. It doesn't always happen now. I'm living proof.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm still not done. In my humblest opinion, you know what I'm saying? I still have further to go. But you cannot give up. If you give up, how are you going to make it?
Very.
You know what I'm saying? So it's as simple as that, people. I'm so sorry I don't have more and something deep to tell you, but it's as simple as being willing to learn, drop the ego. You can learn from anybody, and don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up.
All right. And this has been Off the Record. Problem Child. Thanks for joining us.
Baddest boy. Night on me.